welcome everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the state of Texas and regarding its future in American politics and the elections as well, regarding the Senate, the general election, and even the governor's race. So basically, a blue Texas will be the final blow for the GOP is what we're going to be discussing in this video. And it involves the map to 270, or the race to 270, and the electoral map. And what I'm basically trying to put out the message is, if the state of Texas were to ever flip blue, whether it's the near future, maybe in the next decade, maybe in the next 15 to 20 years, on the general election side, it doesn't even have to be the Senate or the governor's race. If it ever flips at least one time, that will be the final blow for the GOP. The Republicans need Texas, and it's a must-win for them in every single election. Talking general election. So, moving on in the future, and currently right now and even in the past, Texas has always been and will be moving forward a must-win for the GOP if they want to keep it close in elections. Not just win, but keep it close. So, taking a look at the electoral map. This is the future of each state moving on in general election wise. This is the future for every state. Arizona in the future will be a Democratic state. Same goes for Georgia. Pennsylvania in the future looking like a Democratic state. Michigan remaining a Democratic state. Nevada trending to the right as of right now. Minnesota is trending to the left. And Florida is trending to the right, obviously. And Democrats already started out with a huge majority. Taking a look at the future map of American politics, 286 electoral votes to the GOP's 252. Now, if you flip Texas to blue to the Democrats, it makes it basically impossible. Not almost impossible. This is really pretty much impossible for the GOP or Republicans to even make it close to winning the general election. 326 for Democrats. 212 for the GOP if Texas were to be a Democratic state in the future. So basically, every map is filled out on what they would look like in the future, and if you have Texas blue, Republicans will never come close to 270, and they will never win an election ever again. Mark my words, a blue Texas will be the final blow for the Republican Party. They must always win Texas. If they ever lose Texas at least one time, they will lose that election. And this goes for the Senate. This goes for the governor's race. I'm not saying Texas will be blue in 2024 and Republicans should be worried and they should not vote because they would already lose. It doesn't make a difference. No, that's not true. That's not what I'm saying. I actually do think that Republicans will win in Texas in 2024 and they will win in 2028. But to give out a prediction on when Texas will flip in the Senate, governor's race, and general election, I think Texas will probably see its first flip from red to blue in the general election. Hear me out. General election will probably be in the late 2030s, maybe in 2036, for example. And Texas will probably see its first flip in the Senate probably in the early 2030s, maybe 2032, and in the governor's race probably in the early 2040s, maybe like 2040 exactly, to be exact. I think Texas will see its first Democratic governor in a long time, probably in the early 2040s. This is a hot take, probably 2040. And then Texas won't go blue in the general election. I'm probably going to guess in mid 2030s to late 2030s, probably 2036. And Texas probably won't have a Democratic senator. I'm going to predict probably in the early 2030s, 2032, they will have their first Democratic senator. So Texas won't go blue in any type of race, whether it's a Senate, governor's race, or general election, until the early 2030s is my prediction. Obviously, we don't know, but I think Texas will see its first Democratic senator probably in the early 2030s. I think when it comes to the 2020s, Republicans, Texas will remain in GOP control for the 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030. I think Republicans will keep control in Texas. Obviously, Greg Abbott won with a huge amount of numbers. They rejected Democrats back in the 2022 midterms. So obviously, Texas is still this very red state, and Republicans still have control. But when you're talking about the future, GOP should be worried. because Texas, as of right now, is a very red Republican state. When we're talking about the future, shifts are in favor of Democrats. Trends are in favor of Democrats, even though Texas is very well, I would say, favored among whites. 67% of whites in Texas, which white is, I believe, a major, I think, the first race in terms of population in Texas, dramatically votes Republican. And even Hispanics, I believe 40 to 50% voted red in 2022. Tell me if I'm wrong. So Texas is obviously, don't get me wrong, this is still a very red Republican state, and I think will vote tremendously in Republicans' favor in 2024 and 2028. And I think 2030, mid 2030s, you will start to see the state actually vote blue in some certain races, for example, the Senate. And I think the first area you will see Democrats will win Texas in the future would be the Senate. I think they will flip the Senate first when it comes to Texas. And then it will be the general election. And then obviously the governor's race, I think, will be the last thing that Democrats will flip. So I think they'll first flip the Senate in Texas. That will be the start of it. And then they will go to the general election. And I think they will finally flip the governor's race at the last. I think the governor's race is the most reddest part of Texas elections. And obviously the Senate is probably the most competitive, and Democrats have a better shot at the Senate in Texas rather than the governor's race or even general election. So basically, that's pretty much it. This is the future map right here you're looking at, and it should scare Republicans. Arizona will be a Democratic state in the future. Texas, as of right now, is a Republican state, but if we're really taking a look at the deep dive into the future, it will become a blue state one day, but not anytime soon. In the next decade, Texas will remain red. I think we can all agree. Florida is a trendy Republican state. It will be safe in the future. Georgia will be a Democratic swing state in the future. North Carolina, I could leave at toss-up for now. Same goes for Wisconsin, toss-up. Michigan is a Democratic state in the future. Pennsylvania will be a Democratic state in the future. Nevada will be a Republican trending swing state in the future. Colorado and New Mexico, locked in for Democrats in the future. Same goes for Minnesota and New Hampshire. And Ohio and Iowa will be locked in safe Republicans in the future. And when you flip Texas, it makes it impossible for the GOP to get even close to 260, even 250 electoral votes. They won't even get close to it. They will be stuck in the I would say around early 200 electoral votes, around 212, and Democrats will be over 300 electoral votes if Texas goes blue. So what I'm going to say, the main point I'm making in this video is what I'm going to say is Republicans need to make sure that they win Texas from now on in every single election, no matter what. Because once they lose Texas, they will never win an election ever again. Ever again. They won't. And they won't come close. It won't even be close. It won't be competitive. They must keep winning Texas. And I'm not saying this to scare them. I mean, they should be scared in the future. But as of right now, they shouldn't get too worried, as Texas still pretty much majority does vote Republican. So I mean, they could be a little comfortable right now for now. But when we're talking about maybe in 2040, yes, Texas expect that to go blue and expect Democrats to always win the elections. So there you guys go. Let me know if you agree with me on this video. That pretty much my hot take, a blue Texas will be the final blow for the GOP. Because if you take a look at this map, you flip Texas from red to blue, and you have every single state on where they're trending as of right now. Democrats will be over 300 electoral votes, and Republicans will never win an election ever again if you flip Texas from red to blue. So Republicans have to make sure, what I'm trying to say in this video, that they always keep Texas red. Because if they don't keep Texas red, they won't come close to elections and they will never win them. So let me know if you agree with this video in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching this video.